Marjorie Taylor Greene responded to the news that we just discussed in the last segment, that the informant, the big bombshell informant that Republicans had that was going to expose Biden's bribery scheme and all of his corruption, disappeared, missing. They've misplaced, as Squire worded it, misplaced their bombshell informant. And it just could not get more absurd. And Marjorie Greene, despite that fact, still thinks this investigation that's been going on for months now into Biden, and we talked about the press conference where they weren't able to bring forward evidence of criminality, the wrongdoing they're talking about. They just weren't able to prove it on the part of Joe Biden. But still, she thinks this investigation is going to take down Biden's presidency. Whoa, take a look at this.
And I want to be very clear with everyone watching again today. Our whistleblower that brought us evidence that leads directly to Joe Biden, that Joe Biden took a payment from a foreign national in exchange for foreign policy favors, that whistleblower is not lost and they are safe, but they do fear for their lives. That whistleblower came through us, thankfully, through the help of Senator Grassley. So that is a fact. That is the truth. But other whistleblowers, yes, they are missing. They're either in court, they're in jail, or we cannot talk with them at this time because they can't be found. This is a very real situation that we're talking about, and our investigation is so important, Steve, that this will bring down the President of the United States. And I want to let everyone know something. We're going back to the Treasury Department today at 1 o'clock because we have more financial records that we have to review leading to the Biden.
So when she's saying more financial records, what she's referencing is the fact that a part of what they presented at this press conference was financial records that proved Hunter Biden made money internationally, I guess. The payments weren't illegal, and Joe Biden wasn't connected to it. But they said this is proof of Joe Biden being bribed. Very strange. We went through more specifically all of that in a past segment, and they did have to admit that, and they did throughout the process of outlining the information that they had, show that they don't have evidence for any criminality on the part of Joe Biden. He hasn't been shown whatsoever to have been a part of all these horrible schemes that Republicans have accused him of, but they continue to accuse him of those things at that press conference as well. And so I guess she's saying we're going to get more financial records, that then maybe those will prove the bribery scheme that we're talking about here. Okay, go get all the financial records you want. Great. But it's really unfortunate how dishonest they're having to be to build this narrative that's just not accurate at all about Joe Biden, instead of getting to work on things that actually would benefit their constituents. And what it kind of reminds me of is the stolen election claims, where they would always be just around the corner from revealing all the evidence. Mike Lindell is a big example of that, where he's constantly saying, we're about to expose everything about the election. Trump's going to be reinstated. The courts are going to side with us. It's about to happen. We're about to reveal the evidence. And then it doesn't happen. And he's made predictions. By this date, Trump's going to be reinstated. Everyone's going to see that the election was stolen. And then the date comes, it doesn't happen. Multiple examples of that. And since I kind of thought of Mike Lindell here, I also came across during the preparation for today's show a clip of Mike Lindell saying all these election challenges, all the proving he's trying to do, has cost him over $40 million.
What we're doing with Frank's speech within the next couple weeks, could be for 2 to 4 weeks, we're offering stock to the public. This is going to be amazing. We're offering stock to the public. I want every person out there to have a little piece of the pie for our voice for this country. With the money that I use to save this country that I've been out spending, I've spent over $40 million.
Unbelievable. Hang on a second. He spent over $40 million.
So if you're a follower of Mike Lindell, he's made these promises. They haven't happened. Trump's not president as he predicted he would be by this date, by so many different past dates. And the evidence hasn't been exposed. And now he's spent, at least he's saying, over $40 million. If there was evidence, wouldn't he have found it by now? Over $40 million. If this was all going to be revealed and Trump was going to be ushered back into the White House, wouldn't that have happened by now? What was he going to spend $100 million for it to happen? But I guess people just keep going along with it, or they think it actually got exposed when it didn't. And so when, or back to the Marjorie part of this and the informant, if you're a follower, as I said during the last segment, and you watch this play out, you watch the press conference, if you understand the actual facts they were laying out, then you would understand, oh, they didn't provide evidence of wrongdoing on the part of Joe Biden. And okay, maybe it's because it's about to come in the form of this informant. And then the informant all of a sudden, oh, we can't find the informant, sorry. And you know they've done this over and over and over again with Joe Biden, and they haven't provided evidence over and over. Eventually, won't you give up on them? But apparently not. One other, while we're on the subject, funny reaction was Republican Representative Tim Burchett to the news that the informant has vanished mysteriously.
Do you know the whereabouts of the informant?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Is he missing?
Apparently, yes. According to Chairman Comer, you know, they...
Do you...
Yeah, I don't know. It's gone. They're gone. What you gonna do? But just take our word for it. Trust us. It would have revealed that Biden was bribed. Trust and believe. It would have revealed it. That's the same Tim Burchett, by the way, who after the Nashville mass shooting, he's a representative from Tennessee. He said, oh, Congress can't do anything about gun violence. No, we're not going to do anything. Really vile. But there it is. The mess that is the Republican Party's attempt to smear Biden.